What if the biggest thing holding you back has nothing to do with your talent or your network or even how hard you work? We're about to get into one of the most overlooked habits that creates this huge gap between the super successful and, well, everyone else. And I promise you, it is not what you think.
So what's with this number? 25,000. Well, that's how many people Napoleon Hill spent over 20 years analyzing to figure out the biggest reasons people fail. And what he found? It was absolutely mind-blowing.
Just let that sink in for a second. It wasn't a lack of talent. It wasn't a lack of opportunity. It was simply a lack of decision. And Hill didn't call this a theory, he called it a fact. But here's where it gets really interesting. His research also showed that the ultra-successful have this very specific two-part habit for making decisions. Now, the first part is pretty well known. But that second part, that's the real secret. And we're going to uncover it at the very end.
Okay, so let's be really clear about this. Indecision isn't some quirky little personality trait. According to Hill's work, it's one of the main obstacles standing between you and whatever it is you want to achieve. It's kind of like this silent saboteur that kills success before it even has a chance to get started. But Hill didn't just study failure. No, he also studied hundreds of people who had built massive fortunes. And when he compared the two groups, he found this massive, undeniable difference in how they operated. It all boiled down to the speed and the stickiness of their decisions.
And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? I mean, look at this. They're perfect opposites. People who struggle tend to decide things very, very slowly, if they even decide at all. And then, when they finally do make a choice, they change their mind super fast and all the time. The wealthy? They do the exact reverse. They decide quickly, and then they stick with it. They change that decision slowly if they ever change it at all. This isn't just some small difference, this is the core difference.
So if this habit is so destructive, why are so many of us stuck in it? I mean, were we just born this way? Well, according to Hill's research, the answer is a big, fat no. It's something we actually learn.
Hill basically argued that this habit gets drilled into us from a really young age. Think about it. Our school systems, as great as they can be, they teach us to follow instructions perfectly, right? But they rarely teach us to set a clear goal for ourselves and then act on it decisively. So over years and years, that hesitation just becomes our default setting.
So how in the world do we break this habit? Well, we do it by adopting the mindset of people who have already proven they know how to lead and succeed. They don't see decisions as scary moments, they see them as moments of power. Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world.
I love this quote from the legendary speaker Bob Proctor. It just perfectly nails the first part of the habit. He didn't wait around for the perfect moment. He decided, and then he trusted that the action itself would build the momentum to figure out the rest. He just started before he was ready.
And it's not just entrepreneurs. Here you have President Reagan reinforcing the exact same idea from a position of huge leadership. Yeah, he gathered the information he needed, but he didn't get stuck in what we call analysis paralysis, trying to get everyone to agree. He knew that true leadership means being decisive. He didn't take a vote, he made a decision.
This quote from an American general gets right to the heart of the fear that paralyzes so many of us, right? It's the fear of being wrong. But here's the absolute key. Making the wrong decision is almost always better than making no decision at all. And why is that? Because you can always correct an action. You can't correct inaction. It's like you can adjust your course while you're moving, but you can't steer a parked car.
Okay, this is it. We have seen the problem, we have agitated it, and we've looked at the mindset. Now, let's put it all together and finally close that loop we opened at the beginning. Here it is, the simple two-part habit that you can literally start building today.
So, part one is what we've been talking about. Learn to decide quickly. Know what you want and just go. But here it is. Here's the secret ingredient, the second part that almost everyone misses. Change your decisions slowly. This is what gives your decisions their power. When you actually commit and see things through, you're giving your actions time to get results. You're not constantly pulling up the seeds you just planted to see if they're growing. This combination, fast decisions and slow changes, that is the formula that makes it all stick.
So let's make this real, right now. What is one decision? It could be big, it could be small, that you've been putting off. Your whole journey starts not with some giant leap, but with a single prompt choice. Let us know what it is in the comments below.